This video will be a short update as to what the US has done after invading Venezuela, kidnapping its president, and basically putting its president in show trial. First things first, after the US invaded Venezuela and kidnapped its president, blew into the country on pulled in on helicopters and kidnapped its president. Some of the most crazy things I've ever seen in mine. After doing all that, Vietnam, uh, you know, ever since February, they've also been preparing for a US military invasion. Why? Because the US is probably going to try to overthrow its government if the US doesn't like that it's too close to China. That's probably what would happen. Project 88 emphasizes Hanoi deeply distrusts the official US proclamations that it respects Vietnam's political system. Well, to be fair, the political system is just justification for the US to just pillage the country. So, considering that the US is pillaging Venezuela because Trump literally he's blatant and he just says that, yeah, we're taking it because we want the oil. Any government that is too close to China, they probably don't want. Vietnamese military planners are secretly preparing for a possible military invasion by the United States and its allies, despite the recent promotion of relations between Washington and Hanoi to the highest level on par with Moscow and Beijing, according to the advocacy group. So that's a little bit of diplomacy. I mean, the U.S. doesn't give a fuck about their allies. I mean, they'll invade the country if they just don't like them, or if they just want something out of it. They'll just kill everybody and drop a nuclear bomb, or you know blow up hospitals and kill civilians if the U.S. doesn't like them. But yeah, it is kind of crazy. Even Vietnam is not safe. Vietnam is on the chopping board, in fact. So now getting back to Venezuela, as you can see here, Trump on the 6th of January announced on his website Truth Social. This is the White House on X. President Donald Trump announces interim authorities in Venezuela will be turning over 30 and 50 million barrels of high quality U.S. sanctioned oil. That should say U.S. sanctioned oil to the United States of America. So here's what Trump says. I am pleased to announce that the interim authorities in Venezuela will be turning over 30 million and 50 million barrels of high quality sanctioned oil to the United States of America. Turning over. I mean, they're fucking threatening to kill the officials in the country, so they're giving them the. That's absolutely insane. This oil will be sold at its market price, so the U.S. controls the price of the oil, and that money will be controlled by me as president of the United States of America. So so Venezuela is gonna sell the oil. Or no. The U.S. is going to take the oil. They're turning over the oil. They're taking 30 and 50 million barrels of oil, and the money that this oil will be sold at its market price, and that money will be controlled by me. So it's going to be sold, but the money's going to be controlled by the U.S. So are they making Venezuela pay for this oil or whatever? Like, this is insane. So the U.S. is going to take the oil, and then they're going to force Venezuela to give them money that amounts to how much the oil costs. So they're going to pay. They're going to give the U.S. oil, and they're going to pay the U.S. for taking the oil. As President of the United States of America, to ensure it is used to benefit the people of Venezuela and the United States, I have asked Energy blah 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 to execute the plan immediately. Yeah, this will totally benefit the people. Taking its natural resources and then just taking its money too. That's definitely gonna help them. It will be taken on storage ships and brought directly to the loading docks in the United States. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So this is not just to mention the fact that the U.S. has already stolen an oil tanker when the U.S. conducted a military invasion of Venezuela. As you can see right here in this video, the U.S. soldiers are just marching on. They're storming on, gear saturated, guns out. They're just seizing a civilian vessel. They're forcing passengers out at gunpoint, and there's fucking Orange Man. Oh gosh. I mean, this is a complete joke. I mean, one thing I will highlight is that the U.S. has claimed that Trump basically said it's going to help the people. Um, it's not going to help the people because the U.S. is controlling the price of the oil and they're controlling how much oil they take away from the country. I mean, in this article here from CNBC, Trump administration pledges for U.S. energy to invest 100 billion to rebuild the oil sector. I mean, if Trump gets his way, he'd clearly rather not just build up the oil infrastructure so that the U.S. can have a joint venture, which is the government has certain regulations that the foreign oil companies have to go through. They can't just extract the oil at market price. They have to actually work within the government. There's only a certain amount of oil. There's a certain price you have to pay for it. But if Trump gets his way, he'd rather this $100 billion to be used to export this oil at market price if they even do decide to pay Venezuela, which Trump said they're not. So this is not to excuse European leaders too, who have been, oh so surprised to see Donald Trump attempt to invade Greenland and to annex Canada. They're so surprised about that. I mean, the European leaders have also been playing a role in, destabilizing Venezuela. Britain had stolen gold. The Bank of England stole gold from Venezuela. The Telegram outlines here. Britain is to keep more than $3 billion in Venezuelan gold at the Bank of England. So Britain stole gold from the country of Venezuela. I mean, this is complete laughery. It's a complete joke. Like, I can't believe the U.S. and the EU just get to do whatever the fuck they want. It's a complete joke. Despite the U.S. capturing oil in Venezuela, it's the CEOs of major oil companies are still referring to Venezuela as an uninvestable place, mainly because it's uncertain the future of the country. This the country's not stable. So like even if they did invest in, there's no guarantee that their investments are gonna be bring about profits. Also, Venezuela has a lot of heavy crude oil. I highlighted the fact that this oil is very heavy, considering the fact that oil that is very heavy, as this article notes, is very costly to move, as this article is stating. Most of this oil is extra heavy, concentrated in an Orinoco belt. It's buried deep underground and much more sulfur rich than light crude that dominates global trade. Light crude is less expensive. It's less extraction. It costs less to extract it. Um, so Venezuela having a lot of heavy crude means that U.S. companies, on top of the fact that they have to rebuild the infrastructure, on top of the fact they don't know how the future of the country, what the future of the country even holds for the country, considering that um, Venezuela is very destabilized. The U.S. invaded the country. They blew up the country. Like, I mean, I can understand why companies are very unwilling to invest immediately. So this all in all, it does not do good for Venezuela because even American companies are going to be even more hesitant to even invest into the oil sector in the first place. This is a brief update as to what the U.S. is doing in Venezuela after the U.S. captured Maduro. Seems like nothing is going good for Venezuelan people. Nothing is going good for the Venezuelan oil sector. It's kind of just dominated by the U.S. now, and the U.S. just controls it and just does whatever they want. And the Europeans still have Venezuela's gold, and the U.S. stole a Venezuelan oil tanker, and they're gonna keep it, and they're gonna keep the oil that they stole, and they're gonna keep the money that they stole. I mean, this is a complete joke. It's a complete joke. Nothing the U.S. does is for the benefit of the civilians the U.S. claims to be freeing. I mean, this is a complete joke. Freeing the country means blowing up a dialysis facility. It means blowing up military installations in a sovereign country. It means invading the country and kidnapping its president. And then other countries which are, seemingly scared of the U.S. doing it to them, they're preparing for war against the U.S. too. I mean, the U.S. is a complete joke. It's a complete joke.